You're right, mate. I'm British.
Oh my goodness!
And I'm also a metalhead, and I'm here to talk to you about this little thing from the internet called fundamental paper education. Now, you've probably heard of it, maybe you haven't, but I'm sure you've at least seen a few of the characters before and wondered where they came from and why they're so popular. Well, to be completely honest, I have no fucking clue how this became so popular. However, I do know exactly how you found out about these characters.
Pornography.
So, you might be sitting there behind your screen thinking, alright then, what the fuck is this whole fundamental paper education thing? Well, don't you worry, mate, because in this video I'm going to attempt to explain everything about FPE. Or at least everything that I know about FPE. So if there's any details or characters that I missed in this video, it's either because I forgot about them or I just don't care about them. Honestly, the second reason might be most likely. And by the way, if there's anyone watching this video who knows about the Danger AU, which is just a Danger themed reskin of FPE, I am aware of its existence, but for the sake of this video, I'm just gonna not bother talking about it. Anyways, let's begin. Now, the first thing you might also be thinking is, hey Nontu, what does you being a metalhead have anything to do with any of this? Well, that actually brings me to how FPE all started, because as a matter of fact, FPE didn't actually start out as a video game, or a creepypasta.
Oh, fuck it! Fuck! Stop screaming! Stop!
Shit, it wasn't even an indie cartoon series like The Amazing Digital Circus, or Murder Drones, or that one fucking show that we all hate.
It starts with...
No, FPE actually originated as a fan-made music video for a song by the living Tombstone. Yes, you heard me. It was indeed a fan-made music video for a song by the living Tombstone that was based on Baldi's Basics. Yeah, remember when that fucking game was popular? Me too, mate. So, I'm sure that by knowing that Baldi's Basics was pretty much the base for FPE, you would of course have gotten it into your thick skull by now that FPE is set in a school. Well, that's right, mate. As a matter of fact, it's set in a school that's located in Vancouver of good old Canada, and while it may seem like a rather peaceful school, let me tell you something, mate, it bloody well is not. Since some of the teachers here tend to give the students some rather brutal punishments when they misbehave. And there are three teachers in particular who are most known for doing this, and that is Miss Thavel, Miss Bloomy, and everyone's favourite teacher, Miss Circle. Miss Thavel is the language teacher, and when she gets enraged, she will find your house and probably burn it down just like how Varg burned down those churches. And by the way, she's also a literal Wendigo, so that's pretty metal. Miss Bloomy is the science teacher, and when she gets enraged, you pretty much have a very low chance at running away from her since she can pretty much skedaddle faster than Les Claypool playing his bass. And Miss Circle... well... Miss Circle is taller than Peter Steele. But she can also shapeshift into this little fucking cat thing. And she also loves eating Oreos. And human flesh. Now, all three of these teachers are quite different from each other, but the one thing they have in common is that when you fail any of their tests, these three cunts will chase you down and make you look like the next Cannibal Corpse album cover. But anyways, enough about those teachers, let's move on to the other teachers. Mint Milf, Twink, Heavy's Gun, and literally the only black character.
Oh, come on!
While everyone else in the school is literally built like a flashbang, just like me. So, for a brief description of these characters, because I know that there's going to be a fair number of ADHD-riddled cunts watching this, Miss Grace is the principal of the school who pretty much has no emotion whatsoever, so she's basically a royal guard. Mr. Demi is the music teacher, who also happens to be the only male teacher in the school, and he's also one of the shortest teachers in the school, which automatically makes him a twink. And he also has a lot of anxiety. Miss Sasha is the art teacher, and also just so happens to be Mr. Demi's girlfriend. How much do you want to bet that she picks him? Miss Emily is the history teacher, and, well, she kind of just exists, I guess. The music video is of course named after the song that's used for it, which is Basics in Behaviour, and was animated by a probably then small YouTuber named Katie, or rather pronouncing the name how it's spelled, Katie. The music video opens with these shots of a couple empty classrooms before we get a brief look at two of the three bullies of the school, but then we meet the main character of the music video, Claire, who, from what I've heard, is a rather quote-unquote new student to this fundamental paper academy. She walks through the doors and we see some more strange characters inside along with those 3 teachers that we all know and love. Claire tries to learn some maths but immediately gets interrupted by the bullies throwing bits of paper at her, causing her to give them that bombastic side eye. Now you've heard of the 3 cunts, now get ready for the 3 bastards. Oliver, Zip and Edward. Oliver is pretty much the leader of the gang and literally eats soap. Zip is just another member of the group and she also has a little brother named Chip, though he doesn't actually have an official name, the fandom just likes to call him that. And a little fun fact about Chip, by the way, he has a fish on his back, and the joke about his name being Chip is because of fish and chips. And that's pretty much all there is about Chip, but in this one friend group that I'm a part of, we like to think that Chip is
an ancient god of destruction who shall feed on the sacrificed flesh of the innocent souls in order to gain strength and survive.
By the way, one more thing about Chip is that I like to think that Chip is the kind of character who would be hearing the song Ventolin by Aphex Twin on loop in his head. And then there's Edward. I also don't have anything to say about him other than the fact that he owns a drone that he uses to bully other students, so I take it his favourite band is Muse. We then get a look at another one of the students named Abby, and it looks like he didn't do very well at Miss Circle's test. You know what that means.
I want to see that ass, boy.
Abby runs, and of course he gets chased by the bimbo pine tree, and they get spotted by this other character named Lana, who according to what I've heard is pretty much Abby's girlfriend, and she also has just about the same level of sanity as a fucking potato. Lana goes to investigate only to find Miss Circle munching on Abby's corpse like Mr. Grimm from Twisted Metal Black. Man, does anyone even remember Twisted Metal anymore? And then we get a look at the school's swimming pool, which I don't know why they would have a pool when all of the characters are made of paper, and we see some other characters who I don't care about, when suddenly Zip comes in with an entire fucking pirate ship that she built from cardboard. Like, bitch, who do you think you are, Ailstorm or something? We then see Claire in the library with her friend, who, by the way, I'm not even joking with this, his name is literally Engel, just like that one Rammstein song. We also see some more characters that are just about as easily forgettable as a song by Anthrax, and suddenly Edward starts to bully Claire some more with his drone. Honestly, God knows how there was never any lawsuits towards this school or anything like that. But then, we get a look at the most feared character in this video. Alice, a literal demon girl who also wears a princess tiara. Also, Oliver heavily simps for Alice as he did what is probably the most metal thing you could ever do for someone you love, and that was literally tearing his own heart out for her to eat. Now isn't that romantic? But anyways, uh-oh, looks like Claire didn't do good at Miss Bloomy's test. Better make a run for it. And what's that? Apparently she failed Miss Stavel's test too. How unfortunate. And what do you know, Miss Circle isn't very happy with her test score either. So now Claire has all of the 3 cunts on her ass like it was time for a Denny's Grand Slam. Miss Bloomy manages to slit her ankle, stopping her from running, and right when Miss Bloomy was about to kill her, Engel steps in and grabs Miss Circle's compass, looking like he was ready to fight Miss Circle as if he was fucking Kratos fighting Thor, while Eamon Amarth plays in the background. He tells Claire to run, and as she does, she finds Abby and Lana's corpses and takes a minute to take in how much of a sick album cover this would make, but gets abruptly interrupted by Miss Circle smiling at her, so of course, she makes another run for it and actually finds an exit door, but as you can tell by the looks on the 3 cunts' faces, that was most certainly no exit door. And so, Claire meets Alice, and Alice is basically just like,
Excuse me, what the actual fuck are you doing in my house?
So this bitch uses the earthbending from Avatar to chase Claire out of her room, and she also uses her power to apparently change the art style of the world. Then suddenly, it looks like Claire finally can't run any longer, as Alice finally dices her up like the girl in that one Dimmu Borgir album cover. And once Alice had finished wreaking havoc, everyone else comes out to admire the spectacle of Claire's slowly rotting corpse, which would also make a pretty sick album cover. And to literally no one's surprise, Zip and Oliver were the ones who labelled Alice's room as an exit, but of course the 3 cunts caught them with their pants down, and that's how the video ends. As I said back at the start of this video, God knows how fundamental paper education became so popular because, as you already know, it was only just a fan-made music video which spawned a whole fandom filled with drawings and animations, and God knows how much fanfiction and pornography. But then again, heavy metal literally only got popular because some drunk teenagers in the 80s wanted to show off their sick guitar skills to all of their classmates in high school, and somehow that ended up spawning an entire new genre of music and a new way of life, which made the world so much more beautiful. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about FPE, since that's all I know about it. Oh, and by the way, if anyone can correctly guess all of the bands that were performing behind me in this video, you'll win a free, non-existent caramel chocolate bar. Anyways, thanks for watching through this whole video because that really means a lot to me, and I'll see you around, mate.